Hey YouTube viewers, my name is Tina and welcome to my channel, Yarning with TeeMarie. Again, my name is Tina. I am 39 years old. I currently reside here in Atlanta, Georgia with my husband, my 2 kids, and my 4 cats. I have been knitting and crocheting and sewing for about 11 years. Sewing a little bit longer, but I don't do it as often. I decided to pick up knitting about 11 years ago. My stepmother, she crochets and always made my children granny square blankets throughout the years as they're growing up. So one day I decided I wanted to try, and because she said knitting was harder, I had to challenge myself and pick up a needle and start knitting whatever I can find. I've knitted some hats, I've knitted some scarves, and after maybe 6-7 months, I decided I want to jump into crocheting blankets. They seem to be a lot faster. And my very first blanket that I have ever made was a knitting blanket, and it took me forever. So I kind of decided let's stick to the crochet as far as blankets go, and thicker, gawkier kind of items. Anything, still hats and scarves. I like the lacy feel than a crochet feel. I would go ahead and knit it and my, like I said, garments. Anywho. So I crocheted there for like 7-8 years, and in between a little bit of knitting. As of 2017, I went and pushed myself to go get a pair of Chalgu needles. And I've had the boy, I've had the Susan Bates, I've tried Clovers, tried all the needles. I wanted something different. I wanted something less restricting, especially when it came to the yarn and gliding through the needles. And between the Addies and Chalgus and Knitter's Pride, I started getting into socks. So I went with Chalgus. I fell in love and never looked back. I went bought my set, the set of 4-inch tips, the whole set. I would be able to show the pouch it came in, but my needle set is sitting in my Della Q bag from Jimmy Bean Wool. We'll share that another episode. So anyways, I decided to get the Chalgus, push myself too, because spending that kind of money, yeah, put good use to the needles and the yarn. That's collectively getting bigger and bigger. Anyways, with that being said, I stuck with the knitting and realized that the garments were a lot more prettier, and again, that lacy feel, I don't know how to explain it, but I just know that crochet is just more tighter and more stiff, and with knitting, I like the look of it. It's much more lacier, it's got more space. Yeah, I stuck with the knitting. Anyways, and you're going to hear a lot of the anyways, the brain farts, the mistakes, and the fumbling of words, stuttering, as I do not have a computer. I am doing everything from my tablet, so please bear with me. I'm not tech savvy, so you're just going to get the whole raw end of it from myself. Stuttering, mistakes, fumbling, brain farts. So the reason why I decided to start this channel was to get my motivation back and maybe push others who might have felt like they lost their motivation. And what I mean by that is that when we moved about 3-4 months ago, I've been setting up my room little by little. And as I said, I keep my wool upstairs, so I'll have a sock casted on. I always have a scarf casted and a hat. Always one of each. Always has to be on the needles. And I kind of just stopped working on my projects. Between, again, husband, kids, cats, work, I'm finding myself losing more and more time. I don't even have like 10 minutes to get a row in. So I'm hoping with starting the YouTube thing, it'll also keep me on my toes. Though this is a hobby, if I pretend it's like a job, I'll push myself to maybe get a row or 2 in. Like, we got to get that row in. So if we decide to record this week, you have something to show. Get your motivation back. Like, push myself. So as I said, with a lot of my projects, they are from last year. I haven't had much time to start, but that's why I'm doing the channel. I'm hoping that just, even if it's just for me, it's for me. But if I can push somebody in the right direction, or even just being a part of the yarning community, as I said, whether it be yarning, even sewing, because I do sew, I want to be a part of that. I want to, even if somebody's not watching and they're just listening, 90% of the time I'm just listening, I don't even watch, just to have that feedback of sharing something that I like to do with others. And just knowing that everybody's in the comments, whether it be helping out with pattern stitches, even crafts, different crafts, and diamond painting, even so much that too. I've wanted to get into that. But that's why I'm starting this channel. It's for me and my motivation, and to push others if they felt like they've lost their motivation, and to be a part of that community, crochet, knitting, crafting, yarning, diamond painting, etc. Acquisitions. I probably think I already spoke about them. Maybe. So, and if I didn't, I'm sorry. I can't stop and hit record, so it's on my tablet. If I didn't say anything about acquisitions, I'll just briefly again, I'm not too crazy about buying yarn at the moment. I have way too much yarn down here. I have my wool stays upstairs. As I said, I have kids and cats. They can get into my rooms. Not that they do. One day I won't be looking, and that'll be the day that my wool gets it. So my wool stays upstairs. I'll bring them down every once in a while and show some of my hanks that I've gotten throughout 2022 for my birthday, my anniversary, and things like that. So as I said, acquisitions are not that big of a deal right now for me. It's more decorating this room. I have a Hobby Lobby haul that's sitting here. That'll be another video I will post up. And let's just get right into it, right? So we're going to start with my FOs. Now with my FOs, as I said, they were made throughout 2022, but I do have a blanket that I do want to show from 11 years ago. And the reason why I want to show this, because I was just telling the story of how I wanted to make blankets. Excuse me. I wanted to make blankets, and this wasn't even a pattern. I cast it on about 180, 190, roughly almost 200 stitches. And I just did garter stitch. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I went back and forth knitting. So garter stitch. 9 years later, I noticed that the edges, the border around the blanket, it is cotton, it's peaches and cream. It was starting to fray a little bit, or just pilling. So I went in with a crochet hook, and I just put like 4 rows of single crochet, did the increases on the corner. And she is our community blanket for the last 11, going on 12 years. She is well loved. So, sorry. This is my blanket. Now the yarn again is peaches and cream. Can't remember the name of the color. It might have been like cookies or cream or something of that sort. I don't remember, and she's pretty long. I have to keep rolling it. I know it's a cone. Peaches and cream comes in a cone. I can't give you an accurate number off of one of my other cones, because some of the variegateds and the plains, I believe, are different yardage. But I do know it was peaches and cream. I think the color was like cookies and cream, something of that sort. We call it salt and pepper. And as I said, as you can see there, it's all garter. It's all garter stitch. And then here I went in just with a regular single crochet, went around about 3 or 4 rows, and then did my increases on the corner. So, and this blanket is warm. Now I will tell you, and I probably said it earlier, I don't like cotton. Cotton is not my thing. It's my hands. I can't with the cotton. But again, 11 years ago, I didn't know the difference between fibers. Yarn is yarn to me, a hook is a hook. And yeah, I kind of learned after I made my first cardigan, and she was beautiful in the back, but as soon as I got to my arms, it was super tight. And it was crochet, but it was super tight. And I didn't realize with acrylic, kind of, it is plastic in a sense, it's not as lacy as a knitting stitch. It depends. I know I am wrong. It depends. I know some things that I have knitted with acrylic has came out nice, but crochet, not so much. At least for me. That's just for me. But anywho, I stick with the acrylic. I stick with the wool. It's rare you will see me with cotton yarn. Okay, so again, I cast it on about anywhere between 180 stitches to 200. Just regular garter stitch back and forth until I felt that the length was great. At the time for me, I was done. So it wasn't even about length. And then 9 years later, I went and put a border on it. So that's my first one. Now my second FO is, again, I can't remember some of these patterns. I'm sorry, I snagged this one. Okay, she's fixed. So I can't remember the name of the pattern on this one, but this one was designed by Bag O' Day Crochet. And the yarn that she used was Lion brand cotton blend. They said, I'm not a fan of cotton blend, but this is when that cotton blend was released, and it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was smooth as butter. I mean, this yarn, even now, I am going to knock cotton a lot. I'm super sorry. I'm going to knock it. You will see cotton around. I do have it. I do make your regular washcloths for the kids and things. That don't bother me. A quick, an hour or two washcloth or 2 or 3, fine. Longer, bigger projects, of course, everybody knows with that linen, it just depends. It grinds on your hands. It just cringy. This yarn I will use again. This cotton blend, I did fall in love with this. Anywho, again, we're rambling. So can't remember the name of the pattern, but it was designed by Bag O' Day Crochet, and the yarn was Lion brand cotton blend. So this would be my top, my little Walmart buttons. Let's see if we can get this up. It's very pointy. So somewhere along the project, I think I might have kept adding too many increases, or when I blocked it. I think I blocked it so bad to the point where I just kept pulling the middle and not realizing, because I did that, I overly stretched the increases down here somewhere. Because if I look at it, I can see there's 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So I didn't go up. It just got really extremely pointy. Anyways, so this project I will wear for Christmas. It's very warm. And I don't really have a lot of holiday clothes. Reason being is holiday comes around once a year. So I would rather make something and that I can wear every year, or just make something new every year. This is my Christmas go-to. She's very warm. I can wear a t-shirt underneath, a long sleeve dress shirt. Super, super warm. As I said, one of my favorite patterns. It's all crochet. And as I said, the first blanket was knitted. This one's crochet. Okay. And last but not least, same again with the yarn. I did buy the yarn off of Etsy. I can't remember what the name of the company was. I'm going to try and remember to put some of this stuff in the description box below. If I don't, It'll be in the comments. If I don't, bear with me. At least give me 48 to 72 hours. As a matter of fact, we're going to put that down. Links. And I say to give me at least 48 to 72 hours. Still learning technology. YouTube. And description box. Okay. So, I know the yarn did come from Etsy. I think, as I said to myself, I think it's like Blue Fibers, Blue Barn. I do know the colorway was something along the lines of like succulent fade or a faded plant, succulent plant. It was something out of Plants vs. Zombies. Again, don't quote me. I thought it was something out of Plant vs. Zombies, but it does have to do with that whole plant, succulent color. I'm so sorry. The pattern is The Grocery Girls by Joji Locatelli. Now, this I think is my second one that I've made from her. The first one is not finished, as you have to change colors every section that she moves on to. And I started it. I was just learning how to, switch colors and pull two yarns across to kind of intertwine before sewing it in. So that one's still sitting in a bag somewhere in one of these tuppies, probably on this side. About a year later, when I got this yarn, I was very adamant. I'm going to make that project. I have to have it. I want it. Let's try different colors now. Leave the other one on the back burner as, that one is lace yarn. This is fingering weights. So it's very thinner and the needles are a lot thinner. So again, can't remember the name of the yarn. It is from Etsy. It is an Etsy purchase. The name of the pattern is The Grocery Girls by Joji Locatelli. And it is a shawl. Okay. So, look how gorgeous these colors are. This one is my favorite. This speckled one was my favorite of them all. I think it was 4 or 5 colors. I'm pretty sure it was 4. Then we go into the light blue with the pinks. And then we go into the solid tealish green with that pattern. I threw the purple in there twice. See if I can open up one of these fans. There it goes. All right. And to wear this, just kind of do the best you can. You are the creator. You can wear it however you want. I'm not great at putting these things on. I really am not. I can make them, but I can't wear them. So that is my shawl by Joji Locatelli. The pattern again is The Grocery Girls. However you want to wear it, it's up to you. You're the creator. So it's one of my favorites. I made this about a year ago. She is extremely loved as well too. She gets a lot of wear. And I know for a fact I'm going to have to find this yarn again, if not something close enough, because I really would like to replicate this again. I'm going to keep doing the pattern, and I'm definitely going to try it with different colors, different yarn, as far as next time I try a DK weight and then maybe a lace, and maybe do the pattern repeats before getting up to like the waterline part of it. So one of my favorite shawls that I've knitted. Now I have 2 whips at the moment. I want to dedicate like one video to my 2022 socks. Now in December, I can't remember the YouTuber, but I think they were talking about 1 pair of socks a week. I wanted to. I was like, okay, I got this. I was only working part-time, so I was from like 8 to 2. I'd get home by 2:30, and between like 3 and 6, after, you know, homework, dinner's ready to go, and husband gets home, and maybe get like at least an hour in. And I started the socks maybe day 3. I called it one pair of socks a month. That didn't go so well, at least for one pair. So the first pair that I made, I had gotten the yarn from Hobie. It was one of their Halloween collections, what it was, the black and the pink. So I finally got my hands on it, and because I was already like 3 weeks into January, I had to catch up. So I just busted out a tube with both pairs, slapped on toes, no heel, and I did put a ribbon cuff. In due time, I'm making a pair a month, and sometime in September, October, I came across Afterthought Heel. I've always watched them. I've always seen them. I just cringe. I cringe watching them cut that yarn. Oh yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to try it. That was a disaster. Major disaster. So I know I could have probably saved the sock by pulling up the yarn, but as I pulled to the right, when I put my needle through the right leg, it just unwound going up, and I lost the pair. So sorry for rambling. The point was, I have another pair of socks, cast it on. I don't know what pair this is, so this might be 9, 10, or 11. I did not finish my socks. As I said, we started moving, so I kind of had to put that in the back burner. That's okay, because even in a year and a half, I got 12 pairs done. In the last 4, I probably have like 2 pairs each year. So 2, 4, 8. So considering in 4 years, 8 pairs, and a month and a half, 12, year and a half, 12. I'm on a roll. I'm on a good roll. So anywho, I'm gonna show you the yarn. I'm gonna show you the socks, and I can't remember what number pair it is. But we'll dedicate one to what I have so far in 2023 socks. That works. So this bag, again, can't remember some of the names. I'm really bad at this, and yeah, really bad. So I'll try to remember and go through my purchase history. But this lady makes some beautiful bags. I just typed in an Etsy. I just typed in project bags, crochet bags, knitting bags, and you'll get whichever comes up. My children are knocking. 1 second. Okay, we're back. So as I was saying was bags. I just typed in any kind of bag and project bags. And she's got a whole bunch of them. As a matter of fact, I think I've ordered 2 from her. This one, I know I have another small one. I know for a fact I bought another small one. I can't remember what it was though. Oh, cozies. I'm sorry. I bought cozies. So I have cozies and I have these bags. So let's just get into it. This one is my Rugrats bucket bag. And this was her last one that she had. She was selling it by itself or with the Notions bag, or the Notions bag by itself. I wasn't going to pass up the set. And as I said, I'm learning to sew too. I'm just now learning how to do, again, I think these are called bucket cut or box bottom. I'm not sure. So my small one, I have your regular Notions, your stitch markers, your measuring tape, a small pen and pad, my second set of needles, which is my cast on needles. I use a 9-inch circular once I'm done with my increases and Judy's Magic Loop and all that. And I keep Band-Aids in a thimble. Xiaogu needles are no joke, and especially when you've been just going around in a circle with a 9-inch for hours, plenty of Band-Aids is what I keep in my bag. As far as my needles go, this is, I believe this is a 22-inch circular. if not maybe 14, 22. So I use a 22-inch circular and 2.75 chow goose for my Judy's Magic cast on, and for my heel and for my cuffs. Once I'm done with my increases for my formula, I'm a 7.5. So after my increases, I don't like just that toe increase band on my socks. Excuse me. I like to give myself at least another 4 or 5 rows. I like a thicker band on my socks. And once I get up to my heel, I'll drop my 9-inch forward, go in with my Judy's, finish my heel, reattach, and continue on, and so forth. I have my ankle days and I have my long socks. So I could be sitting there making a pair, and prime example, which we'll show this pair in the episode again too, but I can't remember if this was a Wacky Ball, Zobber Ball, not sure. I have plenty of more. I only bought one, and I really cut myself off to make sure I can have a pair. I really wanted these as a leg. I wanted the full-blown leg. So that's what I meant by some days are ankles, some days are long. Looking at this yarn, I wanted them long, but whatever I can get. I guess, right? So, anywho, I'd love to make these long. I might be able to, because this yarn was already separated into 3 separate hanks. And one of the hanks is not the original color, because, again, I have a fear that of adding my 5 rows, I would run out. And then I wouldn't have enough for either heel or cuff. Not crazy about the cuff. That's okay. I mean, nobody's really looking at my cuff, and we all mismatch socks here anyway. So a sock is a sock. We need to get the yarn out of the yellow. See? Brain fart. So this yarn is by Mustache Yarns. Don't know what the deal is with them. Not sure if they stopped dying or they're re-upping. I really don't know. But this yarn is by Mustache Yarns. The name of the color is Land of Submarines. It is a fingering 75 superwash merino, 25 nylon, 440 yards, and 100 grams. It's the Beatles colorway. That's that. These are 2 cakes now. So my 2 cakes. That's the yellow. That's the yellow that came with it. So, and it's like that small. I'm attached to a sock. This color here, we'll hold it up, definitely can tell they're not the same. This is Dandelion by Knit Picks. I use a lot of Knit Pick Stroll. My wool collection up there is just covered in Knit Picks. All of my socks, all of them, maybe 2 pairs. They're secondary color, heels and toes and cuffs. Patton's Croy, but the majority of my socks are Knit Picks. So I went with the Knit Picks just to make sure I had enough. And because these are separated after my heel, I'm just going in. So I run out, I run out. They're tight, I don't care. They're for me. I don't make socks outside for anyone because I've perfected my size, 7.5. Children, I'm still dabbling around in. I can buy Patton's Croy, and I'm not saying that they're cheap because my yarn haul, shame on you, Hobby Lobby, for their Patton's Croy price. But anyways, I'll use a Patton's Croy to make a kid's sock. It's okay. I can pull it out, re-go. This, no. I bought a hank of yarn actually in January, and as I have it on my Swift, somewhere when they were turning it into a hank, it got really badly tangled. So as I'm trying to pull her off, it just got destroyed. I had to mutilate a $30 ball off of my Swift, and I'll never do that again. So it don't fit, we'll make it fit. That's why I only make socks for me. I don't want to waste this kind of yarn. I don't want to make a sock, it doesn't fit, and then when you unravel them, the crinkly is so bad. It's no part of it. So anyways, stop rambling. Stop. Here's my sock. So I am using, as I said, a 9-inch circular needle. I use 2.75. I tried a 2.25 and a 2.5, and the stiffness of the sock. I have that sock somewhere, and I'll try to find it when I do my sock 2022. That we can see the difference. And no, I don't knit very tight, especially when it comes to my socks. I try to give just a little bit of ease, because I know once you wash them, and especially when the dye is running, they get that little stiff until they get that naturally worn lacy feel. So as I said, here's my increases. They stop there. So with that being said, I don't want that as a toe right there. I don't want that as a toe. Just give me more toe. More cowbell, right? Give me more toe. So I like to add the extra 5 rows. It's a decoration thing. It's fashion for me and whatnot. And as soon as I'm done with that 6th row, I'll go in with whatever yarn I'm using and just keep going on until I get to my heel after 7.5. And slap that heel on, and we're going to run this yarn until we can. That's for that project. Now I'm going to speak of the other one as I'm setting up and putting this one away, because that one I did not follow the pattern as far as yarn goes. So I'm working on a shawl. Basically, I went to the Craftivist earlier this year for my 39th birthday. And my husband went and said, go ahead, pick whatever you want. Just grab a couple things. So I grabbed this beautiful pack of City Walk. It starts from these dark grays and fades into a nice light one, or slate or something of that. I fell in love trying to hunt down the right project. I found the projects. I'm either short, like literally 5 yards, 10 yards. I'm like, okay. I can't take that chance, because I leave myself a nice length straggler, because I will knit 3 or 4 and then try to sew in the rest. I'm pretty sure I'm eating up like 6, 7, 8 stitches. So I don't want to take that chance. I put it on the back burner, that yarn. Either we'll find a bigger ball, because she does sell the darkest gray one in a 400 yard hank as well. So I'm probably going to have to do that. Anyways, so move on. Let's look for another pattern. Let's look for different yarn. He's like, make socks. I have more than enough socks going, at least finish. I have 1 pair. The colors were too beautiful to be hidden. Just like this yellow submarine. Too beautiful. You'll see some of those socks and you're like, oh my God, they should have been shawls. Correct. Some of the yarn is either not sold anymore, it's been discontinued, or some of the dyers are just not dyeing anymore. So that's where I'm kind of, I'm beat on that one. This yarn was gorgeous. I found the pattern. The problem with the pattern is that it's DK, I think, or bulky. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's DK, not bulky. Pattern calls for a 5.5 millimeter knitting needle, and I have way too much wool. I really want to start wearing a lot of the wool that I have. And acrylic, as much as I love acrylic, I have my days where it's just too gawky and I feel like I can't breathe. Anyways. So I found a pattern by Lion Brand, Costa Eyelet Shawl. I decided I've dabbled in enough playing around with yarn and sizes. I do not gauge swatch. You heard me right. I do not gauge swatch. I'm not at that point yet. I've made this here. This is a cardigan by Sorella, and I did not gauge swatch. It is big. I like it that way. Just smacking myself. I like it that way, but I know for other yarns, this is acrylic. Other yarns, I know for a fact I have to gauge swatch. So don't come at me for the gauge swatching thing. I already know. Anyways, but because I've played enough with the wool and the yarn, lacy yarn, and messing around with the needles, we got this. So the 2 balls of yarn that he chose for me, I was like, it's perfect. And I'm going to use that pattern. So again, the pattern is the Costa Eyelet Shawl by Lion Brand. And the yarn that I'm using is a fingering weight yarn. It is Emma's Yarn Practically Perfect Sock. She is from Florida, or hand dyes in Florida. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards, 100 grams. The name of this colorway is Kale. I think that's the best I'm going to get it. You can see a lot of lights, darks. But she's gorgeous, this color. Same thing goes for Ghost Stories. Everything is the same. 400 yards, 100 grams, 80-20. And the name of this yarn is Ghost Stories. Look how gorgeous that beige is, and the browns and the flecks in there. Gorgeous. So as I said, I went with fingering weight yarn. I'm hoping I have enough. If not, next month, I definitely will go and maybe do 1 skein of the Kale and 2 of the Ghost Stories, as there's a 2 repeat, and then, well, initially the pattern, and then 2 more repeats, and then you can do whatever you want after that if you want to keep going. So altogether 3. I might just be cutting it close. I can go one of 2 ways with this. I can just keep it a nice, regular, simple shawl, or I can go boho style and boofy and gawky and keep making her grow and just give it that nice, pretty wraparound and all these pretty colors with the eyelets open. So we'll see. This is what I have so far. It's going to be very difficult to see. I'm in the middle of a row. I should have known better to do that. So, all right. So she'll sit like that, of course, on my neck, wrapped around, knows how many times. But the colors, just look at those colors. Look at the pattern. So, I can't wait until it's finished. So, give you a closer look. Is your eyelet, your garter, a regular stockinette, back to garter, and your eyelet. This is where the pattern restarts again, right here. So this last Kale and up is your repeat. It's not that bad, actually. At first, I'm looking at it. I'm not the best at reading patterns still. I can read them to a certain extent. It's kind of hard to find some of these YouTube videos to learn a stitch. So I try to keep with what I can read until I can further my knowledge. And I went over this pattern over and over and over. I will read a pattern for two or 3 days. I will read a pattern for 2 or 3 days and play it off in my head, or playing with doodling to, I guess the nicest way to put it is, put it in terms that I can understand. So if something's explained to me, I know exactly what it means to doodle it. I read this pattern for 2 or 3 days straight and finally realized, okay, it's not that hard. This baby I've been working on, as a matter of fact, it was last weekend. You can see I started Friday night and I've gotten that much done. So I'm recording this on a Friday, March 31st, but I started working on this last week, Tuesday or Wednesday, the first half. From starting here to here. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday of last weekend, I jumped in. And my stitch marker. I'm a big Marvel fan, so in due time you'll see all my Marvel toys and probably hear my phone ringing Marvel. All my stitch markers, Marvel. Big nerd for Marvel. Anywho, so this is, as I said, my Costa Eyelet shawl, one of my favorites so far that I'm working on, and definitely need to go visit the Craftivist and get some more yarn. I like to do my yarn shopping online, of course, like everyone else, when it comes to nice wools and malabrigos and mohairs and etc., etc., etc. A lot of stuff that I have yet to see or touch, and in due time, I will. I, however, like to order a lot of my nice stuff from the Craftivist. Again, I'll try to put that in the description box or in the comments, but I'm going to say it as slow as possible so anybody can go ahead and follow them and check them out online. Craftivist. CRAFTIVIST. Don't mind me. It's actually early. Yeah, like 8:30 early. Anywho, the Craftivist. Go ahead and check them out. So that is all I have so far. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of projects. I have a lot of whips. Who doesn't? I'm sorry. Who doesn't have enough whips or has too many whips? But so far what I'm working on, I always have a pair of socks, no matter what. Even if I had finished all 12 of my pairs, I like to have a sock. Always. It don't matter. I'll finish that pair tomorrow. I will cast on. Even if I just cast on and I got through the first 2 rows, I have to have one. At all times, I have to have a tube scarf going. I have 2 at the moment going. One is just a regular on the fly, on the go. The other one is my Harry Styles. Late night talking, he's wearing one. No pattern. I can see it looks like a ribbing pattern. Ain't nobody got time for that. Not me. So I just did a simple stockinette, changing the colors. It's another thing I will show. I have a sweater for my son, and I have a crocheted blanket from the Crochet Crowd that's going. These are all projects I will show in due time, little by little, and hoping to catch up 1 or 2. So as I'm done filtering out 2022's projects, I can start showing what I have started and what I have finished in 2023. I have another video that's probably also going to go up. Well, it is going to go up most likely. It's going to be Hobby Lobby clearance haul. I'm going to put 2023, and I'll most likely put maybe ended or not sure. Again, I'm in Atlanta. I'm 45 minutes out, so I don't know about my area. From when I went, I scooped up the last bit of decorations, and I kid you not, 3 skeins of Patton's Croy. Nothing else. I mean, my place was wiped out. So when that video goes up, it'll say 2023. Check your local yarn, Hobby Lobby, and things like that. And I do have a couple needles to share from Walmart. That was the clearance. So that's probably going to go up after this. And I don't know, depending on how I feel, if I want to, doodle around with YouTube and bust out some more projects. So, but I don't have a schedule just yet of how I'm going to do my uploads. As I said, I'm doing this from a tablet. So it could probably even take about 3 or 4 days to upload this. So hopefully it'll go up soon. And I hope you guys liked what you saw, liked what you heard. And don't forget to hit subscribe, hit that like button, share me with your friends and family in the yarning community, sewing community, crafting community. I hope you guys enjoyed your time as well as I did. And I will see you guys all soon. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.